Hi, I'm Ailbhe McDonagh. In this video, we're going to discuss improving our tone or sound quality. A lot of people ask me, after they have been learning the cello for a while, how to improve their bow sound. So sometimes you might hear something like this, instead of that really dense, full sound. And there could be little noises, little things that get in the way, which could be the bow or the left hand. But let's just focus on the bow sound, so our right hand. Mostly I find it's the C string which is the hardest for people to get a good, full, resonant sound. So let's try something on the G string. Now, when we're here, a couple of factors come into this. We want to have the pads of the fingers very much connected. Now this isn't the pad, this is just on the side of the finger, as we know. And this one connected as well, and this one connected too. So actually the pinky has a huge job in creating the clarity of the bow sound. So if you find that you're playing like this, that will have a huge effect on your bow sound. So let's make sure that our bow hold is very, very firm and we can almost pull the pads of the fingers towards us. The other thing to watch on your bow is that you're not pressing with your thumb. So when we put the bow on the string and the cello itself is holding up the weight of the bow. We don't have to hold it. We're just balancing with our fingers. So all of this part here can be quite loose. The thumb behind, we talked about that before, that there's still space and height here. That gives us suspension to go up and down when we do sharp attacks. And the thumb doesn't need to be pressing at all. If it does, try playing for a while with the thumb underneath the bow, just like this. It feels very awkward. But what it does is when you put your thumb back on the bow, then you'll find it's not pressing as much. So let's have a listen. As I come out the bow, I'm doing a little bit of pronation. Turn onto my first finger and lift my elbow. I discussed this in my previous video about bow changes or changing your bow direction. So have a look at that to have a more in-depth talk about pronation. But as we're playing here, I use my natural arm weight. So my elbow is down, natural arm weight. Start off. And that's the bow and my natural body weight making that sound. As we come out the string, of course, now it's much harder for our natural body weight to feel how to play on the string here. So we have to turn over a little bit, sort of like our back weight is pouring into the bow. So it still has that nice thick gluey sound. There was a teacher who was very famous. He used to talk about the peanut butter technique. He was based in America, but I do love peanut butter, so here we are. So when you start, it's like the idea that you're spreading peanut butter. Spread. Thick. Thick, 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 thick. That it's not a fast, light sound like this, but really in the string, your first finger is spreading. So that's a very nice thing to think about. Often, when I'm teaching this, I like to think about stroking a dog as well. So a very big dog, and they prefer the big, long strokes when you're stroking them. And they just love that feeling. It's like you're giving them a massage. And that you feel as you stroke a dog, you can also think about that. So nice and thick. So let's try that now that we've done that on the G string. Let's try it on the C string. So stroking a dog. And often, the hardest part of this is how do we start it? So let's get all of our weight down. Did you see the way I've stuck in the string? Not a bad exercise actually to try and make that sound. And then start and release immediately. So just release maybe a millimeter so we get this ga, and it's still in the string. Yeah, so I almost got a good consonant there. Let's try again. And pronate. So that'll be one contributing factor to a good sound. Of course, all of the things that we discussed before, talking about the bow, parallel angles to the bridge. Do you have too much weight somewhere, like too much weight there won't play very well near the fingerboard. So closer to the bridge can handle that amount of weight. So if you find that something is scratching or the bow isn't flowing where you are, you might need to change either the amount of weight that you're putting on the bow or the contact point where you are. So obviously faster, lighter, heavier and slower. So they're wonderful things to think about. We talked about this idea about thinking about our A string angle. So when we get to the D string and we're traveling to the A string, we push forward so that our angle here is in the correct parallel angle to the bridge. So often people forget to change their angle up to the A string, and you can see that it's not parallel there to the bridge. So if you are not at the right angle, that will affect your sound quality as well. Lots to think about. Best of luck with it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave any questions or comments below.